Welcome to our session, which is about staff changeover and how different organizations have dealt with it. And I'm very happy to introduce you our panelists, Michaela Pehrström from Sweden, Christof Chwojka from Austria, and Monika Million from NENA. So, Michaela, floor is yours.
Thank you. First of all, hi everyone. Nice to see you all, and thank you for being here listening to me. My name is Michaela Pehrström. I have been working with HR for over the 10 last years, and since the last 2 years within SOS Alarm in Sweden as an HR business partner. I'm here to talk about why it's so important to work with the culture and values as a key to reach the business targets. And today, more specific, how we work with staff retention as a key to keep our talents for a long time. And through this 50 minutes, I hope to inspire you and give you our best key takeaways to reach the targets by working with the culture. And before we start, I want to give you all an overview of SOS Alarm in Sweden. We are based in 16 locations, from Luleå in the north to Malmö in the south of Sweden. We are about 1,300 employees in the organization, and our services are all the way from security to emergency to incident information services. And together, all our services create a safer Sweden for everyone. Then, why is staff turnover an important KPI? It's an important KPI because our staff is our most important resources that we have. We invest in our employees, for instance, in education, and also to make ongoing improvements in our employees. And therefore, for us, there will always be an important KPI for us to follow up on. So let's take a look at our journey. For about 3 years ago, we started and kicked off the work with our culture strategy. It took time, and we understood that it would take time because we wanted to include all employees in the organization, and also due to the fact that we are an organization that works 24/7 every day of the year. And we include all employees with team meetings, for example, and through servers in the organization. And after that, we could observe that we needed and wanted to go from we and them to one organization without silos. Going from just being an associate to being a proud employee that we are. We call us, for example, SOS-are to give it more personality at SOS Alarm. And we needed to be more transparent, and we have gone from just leader to present leadership 24/7. At last, but not least, we are more goal-oriented than controlled by the processes. And we think it starts already in the recruitment process. We always recruit competence-based, and it's the recruiting managers who knows what skills are needed in their team. To be successful in the recruitment process, I would like to share 3 examples of what we have been focused on. We have given all the managers training in the recruitment process with support from HR. We combine special knowledge from HR with the operational knowledge from hiring manager. And values and personal qualities plays a key role. And our way forward is to improve and make the recruitment process more efficient and more easy for hiring managers, and also friendly to the candidate experience. And we also have been working with our EVP, both for our candidates and for our employees. It's important to be transparent with what our candidates can expect and our employees. To make it a success, it has to be true and unique. For us, it means sharing and involvement, promise to candidates and employees that we include employees in learning and business development. We link values with concrete behaviors. For example, we celebrate when we success. That's a promise to our employees. Because who doesn't like cake? And our strength, and to boost the culture, the learning culture, another key is that we work with our strength and to boost the culture. We do this to involve our employees in the organization. We align individual goals with business plan, for example. And also, we want to include our employees with the individual goals in one-to-ones, for example, in performance review documents. So the managers talk with our employees just to link the business plan with the individual goals. We also have a new careers page online, and it's more modern and up-to-date page with movies from the business to be more transparent and to highlight our different business area. And another example, which you can see pictures from, is a book of culture with information about our benefits, some fun facts, and also working hours. One example is that we had reduced the working hours for our operational employees that works a lot of evenings, nights, and weekends. So they have reduced working time. We also work with leadership training, and that's training both for our employees and leadership as a part of the learning culture. For example, we have our talent program for all our associates that they can apply for annually. And that's a lot of applications every year, and that's a part of the learning culture for every employee as an opportunity. Also, we have leadership training. We have leadership program at SOS. Here is some topics, but we have several topics like self-leadership, lead others, culture, and values, for example. And I also want to share an example how we include and involve our employees in the organization through our Instagram account, Livet på SOS Alarm. In English, Life at SOS Alarm, where employees from the whole organization submit pictures from like team activities when we celebrate, for example. That's increase that we show our culture, but also due to the fact that we make involvement in the whole organization, as we are based in 16 locations and from home offices. So, are we on the right way? Yes. About some years ago, we had an employer net promote score on -16, and today at +13. We had reduced the staff turnover with about 10%. And also, we follow up on management index, which been good over the years, but still an important KPI for us to follow up on, because the managers gives and creates the opportunities for every employee in the organization. That's why we are glad that the management index has been increased even more. So, to sum up, our key to reduce and work with to reduce the staff turnover and work with our culture is to involve our employee in the organization. And I want to say thank you for being here listening to me. And if you have any questions, you are more than welcome to contact me online, or if you have any questions at the moment.
Yeah, thank you, Michaela. Are there any questions from the audience right now? Okay, so it seems that after our session during coffee break you will get a couple of questions. But now I think we can continue. Thank you.
Thank you.
And our next speaker is Christof Chwojka.
Thank you. So, hello, I'm from Austria, and we have nearly the same flag like your country. Our white is a little bit bigger than yours, but we have also red, white, and red. So I'm from Austria. I'm from the northeastern part of Austria. It's called the state of Lower Austria. Austria has 9 states. We are the biggest one, and we are responsible for up to 4 million people. We have from rural to flat. We have borders to other countries. We are surrounding the national capital, Vienna, which makes it not easier for us. And we are the one and only center for all these services. So we have 220 ambulance stations, blah, 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 a lot of things to do. 4 million calls a year. That was before the pandemic. It was going up unbelievable. It's now many, many more millions. And yeah, what we are proud of is that we have more than 3,000 dispatch life support situations per year. And more than 600 children were born during the telephone call. A lot of numbers are coming in. We have specified numbers for medical, fire, doctors, nurse triage, information, complaint, whatever. So Austria is one of these historic countries which has 112 and a lot of other numbers. What I like my employees is when they say, I love my company. And what we do for that, I will show you in 10 points which I think is impossible. Yeah, let's start. First, it's the same like you said. You have to do a good assessment and pick only the best. Our company is owned 66% by the government, so I get a lot of emails and calls. Could you take the son of the gardener, of the neighbor, of the driver, of the governor, or somebody else? Never ever do that. Everybody has to go through the assessment, and the best of the assessment will get the job. And train them as long as it's needed. So we have different training length depending on what for are we training the people. And because we have so many different things to do, we are forming a team of different specialists. So not everybody is doing everything. We have call takers for different disciplines. We have nurses. We have simple call takers out from the street. They are only asking, for example, on COVID lines, specific COVID questions, which can do everybody friendly. And he has not to have any fire brigade, medical, police, or whatever knowledge. So we are trying to form a team of different specialists. And if you're good, you can accelerate the ladder. You can be more and more. People have to have a perspective. So that's one of the main things why we keep most of the people. And you have to motivate them every day. So I'm more in the position of Pep Guardiola or Jürgen Klopp. So my job is to tell them how good they are and how motivated they are, and we are the best. We can do everything. If tomorrow call volume is double as today, no problem for us. It is a problem for us, but no problem for us. We will solve that and we will be the best, and that's my job. To motivate the people that they do what they should do, save lives. That's what we are doing. In this situation, transparency is the most important thing. So in our center, everybody can see what everybody is doing. And this is even more important if home office is important within your company. We do home office since 2015, 16, 17. So in every minute, everybody can see what everybody is doing. That's an actual situation, I don't know, 2 weeks ago. The H means they are in home office. So you can see a lot of people are in home office. The COVID people, which are the lowest level of call takers, they are in the centers. The others, the specialists, they are working from at home. But everybody can see how many calls has this guy taken, is he in a break or not. Everything is transparent for everybody. That's one of the main success points if you want to form a team. So if, for example, let's take this guy, Hannes Gratochwil, he's in a break for more than 6 minutes. He can have as many breaks as he wants. It's not my problem. But if he's doing this very often, his colleagues will ask. Not I have to. His colleagues will solve the problem within the team. We are paying them by their compliance. So what we want is that they follow AMPDS, FPDS, PPDS, ECNS 100%. If you are below 95% protocol compliance, you are fired. So if you are not good enough, you are fired. It's absolutely clear for everybody. But if you have 100% in 3 consecutive months, you get extra payment. And so the goal for everybody is to be on this 100% level. And they get what you will see feedback, permanently automated and personal, and they know their level. And if the compliance is better, the payment is better, my problems are going down. Because if everybody is doing perfect work, no complaints, no problems, everything is good. But it's absolutely clear that if you're below the 95%, you will get additional training and a second chance. And if the second chance is not successful, you will get an email from me. It's not from me, it's from one of my colleagues, but I signed it, and it says, your last chance. And now you get special training with special persons. And then we are thinking, why is it that you're below 95%? In 80% of the cases, it's because of personal problems. It's not because they don't want, because they have relationship problems with the children, problems, whatever. Parents are sick. So we are trying to support them. But if you don't want, we say, thank you very much. And we do it very strict. It's not very often, but that helps, because for everybody it's clear, if I'm not on the top, I can't work there in this cool company. Very important is employ enough people. So it's absolutely clear, this is the shift plan from the 15th of March, that at that time there will be a peak starting from 8, and we have call takers altogether, 6 to 7, 13, then 29, then 52, and this keeps until the evening. And dispatchers, 4 in the night, then it's going up to 10, 12, and then it's lowering. Not special events, only one supervisor in service. So we know what's coming. We know the weather situation that will happen. We know at the moment the COVID situation. I know that from yesterday, numbers are going up again in Austria. So we have more calls than last week. So we have technical systems which are doing the surveillance. And it should not happen that these people are overwhelmed by their work. And it should be possible that they take their holidays when they want. That's a lot better if you work in North of Niederösterreich, for example, as you work in a hospital, where you get no holidays, where they keep you especially when you want to be at home. And what I don't like is if they have to come in for extra shifts. So if their shift plan says that next Thursday they are at home, that should be. That we don't call them on Tuesday or Wednesday, please could you come in? And I have to cancel my personal plans. So that's a challenge. One guy is only doing this in my company, but that's a main key to the success to keep the people. That they can plan where they are off, where they are on, and when at 2 o'clock the shift is over, they can go at 2 o'clock. And it is absolutely clear that I reach the kindergarten to get my child at 30 minutes after 2. Absolutely clear. We are not the ambulance service where there can be an alarm 2 minutes before 2. We are the comm center where at 2 o'clock, maybe I have to finish the last call. Maybe it's, that must be very bad luck if it's a longer call at this time, but 5 minutes after 2, it's over. Very important is feedback, competitions, and contests. So they get regular feedback on a personal basis. They get feedback automated, and as everything is clear, you can also know. Thank you for turning it off. It's absolutely clear what your parameters are, what your numbers are, and the best, they can win something. So if last year we made the 4 friendliest call takers, they will go to Disneyland for 1 week, to America. Or we send them to conference. As you know, not this year, but normally from my company, there are up to 10, 12, 15 in Dubrovnik. We have been 15 people. And you can not win this, you can earn it. The most successful thing is home office. So we are one center in 4 rooms, so normal center, like a center looks like. These are 200 kilometers roundabout. But they are in home office, fully established in 2017, out of a little bit more than 200 call takers, 220 I think, 180 are allowed to be in home office, and they do. And this is very important for them because it has a lot of benefits. for me, very important is the employee satisfaction, but for them, it's they have more spare time and they are saving a lot of money. Because if you don't have to go to work every day, look at this, you're saving a lot of gallons for the Americans, dollars and euros. Yeah, that's what counts for them. And we are a clean company also. We are saving CO2. And we established it a few years ago. We have Leo Gesund. Leo is how they call us on the radio. We are Leo. And Gesund is the dialect name for healthy. So we try to keep them sporty. So they have to send us pictures from what they do, and we are paying the fees in the fitness center, in the tennis court. Yeah, we are not paying the horses, but we are trying to keep them fit. Whatever they do, that's really important for us. And this is also a nice gadget that they can see if I'm good in the company. They want me also healthy. They want that I stay long. During COVID, we had additional benefits. I only give you one example. We had this childcare during the first phase of COVID. When the situation was not so clear, I engaged two ladies from the kindergarten. They could bring their children into our place. So I really want them that they say, I love my company. I want to stay there. And the biggest reason why people are leaving are that you've seen on the picture maybe a lot of young ladies, they get pregnant. So, yeah. Any questions? That's it. Don't know. Kaili is in charge.
Yeah, you can ask. But here is microphone.
Yeah, it seems a little utopian that you can have no extra shifts. You must have, sick people reporting, I won't be coming in for work today. Do you have like an extra storage in a freezer with fresh employees?
No, this plan is based on, it's a comfort shift plan. And there is a minimum, over here. This is the comfort. So everybody, it's not the relaxed shift plan, but it can, and there is a minimum behind every hour, and if this number is going down, I don't know, maybe between this hour, it can go down to 45. So, and for every hour, there is a minimum shift in place. So, and if I think 7 people can be ill, 2 dispatchers can be ill at the same time. We are not compensating if it's up to 45, and below that, you get extra payment if you jump in 48 hours before the shift is. So this is also a benefit for the people. So we have people, young people, they wanna get these shifts, if possible. But I don't like that. I really want them, if they have free time, it should stay like this. So, yeah. I like it more if there are some information hotline calls in the waiting line, then somebody is coming extra in. And when there is a sudden peak, as you know, we have home office, we are sending out an alarm, and within 2 or 3 minutes, we can have 50 additional call takers. That's what we do when we are also responsible, for example, for the airport of Vienna. And and we are the WHO entry point, which is not very funny. So all the planes coming from the Arabic and the Asian thing, we are the first when they are coming down, so we have an alarm twice a week. So if it's a Russian plane, then we are sending out an alarm, we need 15 more call takers. If it's Emirates, then we know they have a medical emergency or whatever.
Okay, thank you. We have another question.
Yeah. You have got some years of experience of working at home. Question, how do you secure the employees' working environment? Do you have special plans to visit the houses where they set up the working stations and so on, check the light, how they sit, and all that stuff?
So there is a clear rule how your workplace has to be like. In case of terrorist attack or something, there is nothing special. In case of data protection, the same applies like we have in our center. And this workstation they have, it's only the black box. It's all virtual. So if somebody is stealing the computer, he has absolutely nothing. You need the entry to the system, which is only possible if you're the call taker and your shift is right now, and we have double verification. You get a token. Only with this token you can log in. And we have a specialty, the camera. Every home office has to have a camera, and I can, with my phone, log in into every workplace, and this camera has always to be on. So if I like or the supervisor likes, we can go into your workplace and look if somebody is standing behind you. And Cisco is now offering a tool that, with another company, so that recognizes that not only you are standing in front of the screen, somebody behind is standing, and then you don't get any calls. So we can make sure that not the whole family, or you're sitting in a restaurant and behind is a group, but as I said in a session before, there is no border with home office. So we have guys on the Maldives who are on holiday though and show us I can make my shift there. And now I have discussion, what is holiday and what is free day? If I'm flying to Dubai and I make my shifts there and I make my free times like that, is this now holiday or is this work? Now we have the rule it has to be within Austria. If you're based in Austria or if you're in another state, it has to be there. But there are no borders, and security is not the problem. Home office is very good for resilience, very good for blackout resilience, and we are part of Austria's national infrastructure, critical infrastructure, and they told us we have to be resilient when the terrorist is coming in and killing everybody, so that's no problem for us. Maybe the guys in the comm center are dead, okay, that's not so funny, but we can work on like nothing happened.
Okay, it seems that, it's last question, and then we will move on.
Thank you. My question is actually, there are two questions, of course. First, do you get enough financial resources to hire all the people you want? Because you say, and it's correct, it's very important to have enough people, and do you find them on the market? And second, on your planification, the green slide, that means also that when you have a major incident, you don't have to call back people. You plan sufficient number of people for everyday's business, but also for exceptional occasion.
So we get enough financial resources, yes, because in that structure we are cheaper than any other comm center in the world. I take this challenge. I know this because we are also training international. We are training Dubai, for example. We are doing a lot of work in Germany. And I know what they get per event. I'm getting per dispatched event €6.60, and only for events which are dispatched, not for the calls, not for the COVID calls, not for nothing, all the other things. And we are still break even. We are a cool company within Austria. Everybody wants to work at Notruf Niederösterreich. If we search for 5 call takers, yeah, you can look. We have a special on our homepage. How everything is online and transparent. 200, 300 people want to get the job, so that's absolutely no problem. In every discipline, also if we need nurses, we are a lot more attractive than a hospital, and we need experienced nurses, so that's no problem. And your last question was if a big event is coming in. Yeah, we are doing this only with the back office people and with the at home. So it's nothing special for us. And if you're responsible for a big area like we are, for a third of Austria, then you have a bus accident once a week, a train problem every 3 weeks. So that's nothing special for us. It's simply an alarm back office or whoever wants is logging in and the peak is over. Yeah. The only thing you need is a computer and internet and a headset if possible.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And Monica, now it's your turn.
I think Christof is going to be a very hard act to follow, but I really appreciate, we're actually coming at this staffing challenge, if you will, from very different perspectives. I was fortunate enough to be over at EENA in Dubrovnik and heard Christof's agency's story and was taking his accolades back to the US. So I'm Monica Million from the United States. My home state is Colorado. So I think the brilliance of Christof's model is that it's privatized. He is only the second in my 25 years of experience now. He's only the second person in the world that I had known of a 911 or 112 center that is privatized. And the other example I learned of almost 20 years ago was Iceland, Reykjavik. 51% privatized, 51% government, 49% privatized. And very similar scheduling model that you use where the employees can take up they can work when they want. They never had a staffing problem. They could recruit very easily. It was a much sought after job because there's so much flexibility. Back 20 years ago, they were all working in the office, though. This home concept is very new for many of us. So, Monica Million, 25 years. I hired in my agency as a 911 operator, worked up through the ranks, and ended up managing the center for the last 8 years that I was there. I left that position in my county, and then I worked at the state level in Colorado. In the US, most of all of our centers are run at the local level. There are no state-run agencies. Each municipality or county government owns and operates their centers from both a call take and a dispatch perspective. So what's happening in the United States for staffing? By the way, real quick, show of hands, how many of you are control room or call center managers? Or you work in one? Yeah, I just wanted to know who the audience was. How many of you have staffing challenges today? Are you fully staffed? Yeah. So there are approximately 5,700 911 centers in the US. In the state of Colorado, I helped govern or oversee 86 in our state. That was the max. Pre-pandemic, our turnover rate was about 15%, not just in Colorado, but average across the United States. Today, it's eking 30 to 35%. Big challenges are happening. How many of you have heard of all the civil unrest in the US? How many of your call takers or dispatchers are married to law enforcement or fire services or EMS people? I mean, that's just what we gravitate towards one another. So it has really impacted the staffing in our places. Are you guys experiencing similar things here or no? Yes, I see a couple head nods. So the reason I bring up the civil unrest in my country, there are huge problems. We cannot recruit for public safety. Once we were a profession of noble, you wanted to serve your community, it was much sought after. On average, compared to Christof's 200 and 300 applicants, we would get that 20 years ago. Today we can't get 10. It is a crisis in my country right now. It's crazy. We are thinking out of the box. For those of you who have all worked in 911 centers or 112 centers, you know that mental health and wellness has been a really key issue in recent years. In the United States, we are finally getting maybe the same benefits on parity with our other public safety partners. We did not have the same access to mental health and wellness initiatives, benefits, and those kinds of things. So every kind of incentive that we can offer, paying for gym membership, those kinds of things is what we're offering just to get people to apply for the job. Most of the 911 centers in the United States are managed from a law enforcement perspective, although we have some that are managed by fire services, the majority, and we fall under their hiring and recruitment requirements. No criminal background. Even though pot was legalized in my state 10 years ago, there's still a requirement that you can have no marijuana possession for the last 3 years. You can't admit to have smoked it, blah, 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 blah. So that's even limiting our pool of resources even more. What else is happening? We just have not been able to entice people to come and work for public safety. Our brothers and sisters on the street are having the exact same problem. So like I said, it is a public safety crisis in the United States. To the first young lady's point, the biggest question you have to ask yourself, are you recruiting the right people, and are you recruiting for the right skill set? Because of how many of you love millennials, or what's Generation Z, is that what they're called now? Apologize if I offend anybody. Of course, we have 3 and 4 generations working in our workplaces, and they all do not get along. But I will share with you some of the best employees we have now are the millennials and the Gen Zers, because they can process data. They can take it in from the technology. The changes in our technology do not impact them like us Gen Xers. You know, it's a trauma when the CAD got upgraded. Oh, I can't do that. The younger folks are much more flexible than us old timers were. So we've begun recruiting at colleges and universities, which we had never done before, to try to entice people. To Christof's point, you have to put into your center a professional development, a natural progression, if you will, where he was demonstrating the specializations. You have to put in place opportunities for your employees to grow and move on if that's what they want to do, so that they feel like you're investing in them. We have begun recruiting on every social media platform, again, to appeal to the millennials and the Gen Zers, because that's where they communicate. I think in the US there's a job platform called Indeed. I don't know if it's over here in Europe, but you know, LinkedIn is a global platform that gets utilized. And I think another place, it was just so interesting coming over here when we were in Dubrovnik and really hearing how much more the Europeans valued their 112 professionals in the public safety response. Whereas in the US, we have not been on par with our public safety brethren, and that has changed dramatically. And we have really tried to paint that picture to show them again, even on the other end of the phone, this is a noble profession to serve your community. So what are you guys doing in your control rooms today to recruit? Shout it out. You don't have to raise your hand. I shared with you we're doing social media. Anybody got anything crazy wild they're doing? Not going to admit to it. Job fairs? Yeah, we can't do those now, right? I'll tell you what we started doing, and I have to assume, just like in the United States, you have an age requirement. Is it 18 here in Europe? We started recruiting in high schools. That's what they can't come to work for us until they're 18. But we have begun in the state of Colorado, in different regions of the state, building in a half day learning about public safety from the call answer point to try to recruit and get them to be interested in, because there's not a college program for it in the United States. I don't know if there is in Europe, but yeah. So again, we're trying to educate them on what the profession is. We are paid well, we get good benefits. If you're staffed as well as Christof, you get all your days off. So I appreciated the gentleman's question of how do you keep people when they call off? Yeah, they call in sick. I can't manage that. So I think this high school thing, I'm sharing it because it's brand new. We've never tried anything like this before, but it's really, we're trying anything. So I was hoping to hear something from my European brethren and take it back and be the hero of the day. So, how many of you use your current workforce to recruit? Yeah, one of the things we started doing, and we share this idea across state, and I speak nationally and share it when I'm talking. How many of you appreciate a great bartender or a great server in a restaurant? We all do, right? So what do you think, how alike are those skills in comparison with what we do? They take in a lot of information and they regurgitate it back out. That's what we do. So we had a little incentivization because we're Starbucks maniacs in the US, $5 gift card. This gentleman is serving me. Oh, you know what you would be great? Giles? Guy? How do you? Gilles, thank you. You would be great at a 911 call taker. Here's my business card. Call the HR number and tell them I referred you. If we hire that guy, we do actually give him more than a $5 Starbucks gift card. By just making the reference, we give him the $5 Starbucks gift card. But if ultimately we successfully recruit him and he passes the process, they get a $500 bonus, US dollars. So that's a pretty good thing. Using social media, very much like they do, we tell our people's story. We brag about their saves, CPR saves. We brag about 3 babies were successfully delivered, blah, 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 blah. Fun facts about our folks. If you do not have a social media presence for your agency, I highly encourage you to get permission to do so, because they like to see their name up in lights. Am I right? Yeah. And really, if you're having trouble with recruiting in your agency, how many are you guys having trouble recruiting for positions? I see a few heads nodding. Engage your human resource division. I have to imagine you're all, you're not privatized like Christof, are you? You're all government employees like the US? Yeah. Engage your human resources. They too are working very hard to try to figure out where all of the gaps are in their human resource pools so they can help you brainstorm. What else can I tell you? It's not to scare the crap out of you, but it's really getting challenging at home to get people. I don't think we're going to be past this for a couple of years. 2 things that I think the pandemic did to hurt us. People love to work from home. Kudos to you again. Because again, I've been bragging about you for 2 years, you didn't even know it. But I think the beauty that the pandemic brought to us was that we showed that you could successfully work from home in a secure net. I mean, you could have a VPN sign in and have your security keys, blah, 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 blah. To the gentleman's question about how do you keep track? From our world, the police chiefs are like, oh my gosh, the data will be out. Well, you know, probably not any worse than it is today. And we've proven with the pandemic that we could successfully have people at home and work and keep data secure, et cetera. I'm making a little bit of jokes to make light of some of it, but we've proven that that is really not the case. So the other problem, I don't know if it's happening here in Europe, but people got to stay home for 2 years or a year and a half, and they don't like to work anymore. That's the way I pretty much view it. But it's like people just have not gotten back to go back to work. So you have to get really creative. Do what you can. Social media presence. Engage your human resource divisions to find out what people are doing differently than you, and are they being successful. And then we're all going to go work for Christof.
It seems that we already have questions.
Yes, sir.
Much about recruitment.
Uh-huh.
Our major issue is retention.
Okay.
Especially in a 911 environment or in the EMS and 911. Your fresh incoming people are good, but it takes them a year or a little bit more to get the professionals you want them to be. And then our challenge is with retention, especially because I have to say an important component of our workforce as call takers mainly are female. They are young, but then they get 21, 22, they become mothers, and there we have an issue. And for example, we don't allow mothers to very young newborn children to be working from home. We don't think that's an environment that, unless they can demonstrate that there is a second caregiver to the baby. And so for us, retention is the major issue. We have this feeling that we are constantly training and training and training and training new people, and it's a pipeline.
It's like a revolving door.
Exactly.
Yeah. I would share with you, you're going to have to take some hard looks at your policies because you are not going to retain people, especially in today's world. Like Gen Xers and Boomers, we were raised to work till we died. I mean, and I'm making light, and I'm not trying to offend anybody, but that's truly, we'll work 12, 14 hours a day, and that's what we're supposed to do, and we got the paycheck, and we're going. But that's not the expectations of life anymore, especially with our Gen Xers, our Gen Zers and the millennials. And frankly, it's a healthier way to live. There has to be balance. And I think the only way you're going to retain people is to change your leave policies to be more flexible with at home, with families, with children, with little ones, because people see the value. Okay, I was my mom was single, she was never home, and I got into a lot of trouble. But people have seen the value of that family time and how important it is, and they don't want to give it up anymore. It's just not the right thing to ask of the people that are serving us or our community. I don't have a good answer for you, sir, but I just think that something you're going to have to do in order to start retaining folks is you're going to have to change your policies.
I'm from the United States as well, too, so I've been looking forward to this this particular class since I registered. But I was going to ask, you and Christof, as far as shifts are concerned, how long they are, quality of life for your employees, retention is another problem. I'm from Norfolk, Virginia.
Yeah.
We've lost 40 people in a year and a half.
Yeah.
So now we're down to 20. And, so we're working 12 hours, mandatory overtime. So the quality is just not there. So you do have that burnout factor too.
Much more quickly now that you've lost 2/3 of your workforce.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you're behind the 8 ball. But this is what's chronically happening in the U.S. All I can tell you in my agency, this was all pre-pandemic. I haven't worked in an agency in 5 years, 6 years. But we adjusted our shift hours. I built our staffing to manage, much like Christof demonstrated. You have to build in leave time. Expected. What time of year your calls go up. You know the time of day, you know the day of the week, and you know the time of year. So build your staffing plan to absorb 2 or 3 of your staff members being gone all the time. That way you guarantee their vacation or their time off so that they can stay healthy and stay present for you when they're on duty. You're going to have a big hole to climb out of. I empathize. Please take down my information. Yeah.
The world changed a lot. So years ago, we could choose who we take. I'm in the position I can do it anymore. But now the young people are choosing for who they are working.
Yes.
So you have to be attractive for them. And the second thing I want to add is, I hate this. this word. It's work-life balance. The work-life balance has changed. So they don't want to work for 12-hour shifts because they want to have their work-life balance. 8 hours work, then they have to do sports, and then they have to go wherever. I was born in a generation where, yeah, we start on work, and the shift may end at 6 o'clock, and if they need me longer, I will stay. And if I start on Saturday morning, maybe I'm there until Sunday evening because nobody's coming to take over. So it's changed completely, and I think we have to be ready for that.
Right.
We have to accept that they are now choosing us, and they are looking, no, that's too far away. No, that's the shift is not like no, that's too expensive. So, and we are facing that right now. And if we are not ready, everybody of us, we will stand alone in the middle. So, yeah.
I'll tell you, I think that initially, and I apologize that I don't remember the gentleman's name that was in Reykjavik, his shifts were 2-hour blocks.
This guy is here. He's over here.
I'm like, who does that?
Thomas, raise your hand over here.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my gosh, who does that? Because I came from...
But for example, we need that. For example,
Yes.
at 7 o'clock traditionally,
Yes.
in Europe, in many countries, there's the out-of-hours doctor service, which is starting at 7 o'clock in the evening. And we have a peak, and when TV series are starting at 8:15, it stops. So we need, exactly for these 2 hours, we need them. So young mothers, like you said, they are perfect for this because the children are in bed, hopefully, and then they can do their 2 hours. So that's it.
Right.
And these are the new, like I said in another, we have a new normal. We have a new normal after the pandemic, but we have it also in 2021. Yeah?
Right, with our workforce.
With the workforce.
And not to be insulting to you, sir, but those are the kinds of examples you're going to have to take back to your leadership to demonstrate, because you are not going to be successful in keeping your staff. We have to change. Sorry.
Just a few words, since you took up on Reykjavik. Probably if you're remembering the year 2000, there was my current CEO, Thor Hallur, that told you all about this, but I'm relatively new, only been there 10 years. But we still have the same system. We have, we have an expected sort of level of service required, expected number of minutes to have ears active for. And that's just all statistics, average plus 2 standard deviations, multiplied by 3 for safety measures, and then plus 1 for the extra time, because we don't have the people in Saran wrap. But then we also actually have a deal with the university that they offer a course, and this is relatively new, that graduates in the spring with ready-made workers that then can take the summer vacation away from us. And then they go back to their studies as family counselors.
That's brilliant.
So, yeah.
That's brilliant. But see, this is how creative we have to start being. Like, this is, to Christof, I hate this term. I hate new normal. This is our world now. That's just the way I say it. This is our life now. It's a different place.
Okay, thank you. But actually it seems that our time is over and coffee break is waiting for us. I hope you enjoyed this session. It was very interesting for me.